Hey YouTube, this is Ben Yessel. I'm heading out on a walk. This is a walk video, and I'll get to my music videos soon enough. So I'll be probably positioning those videos, by the way, for my piano. And again, I'm just going to be coming up with music on the fly. And of course, again, it goes without saying, it's all going to be my stuff. So I'll play as long as I want to. It'll just come. If it's melodies, great. Melodies, if it's great harmonies. And then periodically I'll talk about what it is I just played. And kind of the thought process behind it. That's how I'm going to do some of that stuff. And the other channel will be like music lessons. Plus, I'll be playing a lot more of my stuff. My own stuff. But for that one, yep, it's going to be, I need the money, the income for that other stuff. Okay. So, as a side note, one of the hobbies I've been doing recently has been programming, but I haven't done a whole lot of programming per se quite yet. I'm learning C++. It actually is still pretty chilly out, by the way. I'm learning C++, kind of something where you do like number sign, IO stream, right, in the C++ program on Windows. And then you have like the C out, and then the two little, little things. And you put in the text you want to show on the screen, and then that sort of thing. That kind of stuff I've been doing. And just reading over, the very basic stuff. This is like usually in C++ in the, freshman, sophomore level C++ class, all that stuff. So just chapter 1 is just introductory stuff. Chapter 2, I'm trying to understand, and it's not too bad. I'm working with someone. He's teaching me for free. I'm teaching him composition lessons for free, and it's a pretty good deal, I think. Just gonna see. And I'm working on a text adventure game, actually. So it's just text. All it is text. And you have the text on the screen. You press enter to continue on to the next screen. And the tricky part's going to be programming probably all choices that you have. Yeah. So we're going to be working on that stuff. So anyway, that's going on. It is March 1st, or 2nd, 1 and 2. I think it's 2nd today, 2021. Feels like it's in the 40s right now. At least we're past winter, I think, for the most part. And there's still some sunlight out. It was a pretty good day, pretty nice day. I just was being a little bit lazy today. I deserve it. Random thought here. If you make beef short ribs, and there's a fair amount of fat on those beef short ribs, if you use the grease for vegetables, it makes it very filling, indeed. Very filling indeed. I mean, you could easily consume, upwards of, I don't know, 1,000 calories. Easy, just from a few little short ribs. course, that's all from the beef fat, I guess tallow or whatever you call it. So I don't do that very often. Anyway, and it's kind of dark. It's not too bad. Kind of dark. Yeah. What else is going on right now? In general, things look up. I mean, look, in general, things are going great. Really. I guess it's just something where, I came to a realization a little bit today when I was working with some students. I was like, these are some of my more skilled students, it's true. I was like, you can really be tough on students. Really super tough on them. But you have to know kind of when to be tougher on them and when to say, okay, you did fine. You did great. And go on to the next piece or a different piece. You kind of have to know that. And students, it depends on the student, but sometimes there's more incentive to get to a full degree of mastery of a piece when they're playing it for a recital or something. If it's a harder piece especially. And it's also true that, I don't know. See, when you're teaching more advanced students, I mean, first off, we all know you need to be fully competent. And the more advanced the student is you're teaching, the more you really need to, oh boy. I mean, you really need to be that much more of a performer. We all understand that, I think, but it's just, there's also a dimension to performance that has to do with, I would say there's a mental, physical dimension, energy type stuff going on. It takes a great deal of energy to play more difficult music at a high level. Great deal of energy. And it's not a question of bravery necessarily, it's a question of energy. Longer pieces that are tough, you have to budge your energy. There are times when you just, I don't know. I'm not piano-wise, I'm not quite at the level where I'd want to teach someone a half-hour-long concerto, like a rough. No way. Not quite at that level, at least for the piano. No. That's a little bit, that's, yeah, that's definitely beyond me, but horn-wise, yeah, I'm approaching that. I mean, that's something that I could definitely do a bit more of, I think. More at that level, but composition, I don't care what it is. I can teach anybody most anything. Electronics are a different story, I suppose, and film scoring, that's stuff I could always get more experience on anyway. But yeah, I mean, teaching more advanced students, it just requires a lot of energy. This is something I think where any teacher that teaches anybody beyond level 4 in piano, or on any instrument beyond an early intermediate level, or intermediate-ish, it's like, so many times when we're teaching, we don't play very much during lessons because we want the student to play more, show us what they're doing. But there's reasons why the teacher will make you play. It's to show the student how to do certain things, certain techniques. don't have to play an entire piece the student's playing. But I've often played quite a bit of a piece or the whole piece for a student during lessons, and it is useful, I think, for them to hear the music they're playing at a higher level. Oh, it's already darker. This video won't be too long. I'm not going to go for too long of a walk here, but it's tough. It's a tough thing to. It's a tough kind of thing for a lot of teachers. There's always, as you get older, and this is the case for most everyone, some on the whole, but as you get older, you become less able to play maybe quite as well technically as you used to when you're younger. And everybody's a little different that way. It all depends on how you've taken care of your body, what shape you're in, and all that stuff, and many other things too. I can't always explain, but that's something that can't be avoided. And but sometimes you have people that can play extremely well into their 80s, 90s. I don't know. 90s are probably pushing it, but that's something that's a very real thing for all teachers. They get older, get to a certain age, and it's just hard. It's a hard thing. Other times it's other things that come into play. We all get really busy with things. I mean, I honestly don't. How can I expect? I don't know how to put this. It makes a lot of sense to me why a lot of teachers would want to just teach beginners and some intermediates, because even if they've been amazing pianists, it just is. It's so time consuming and so energy draining to be always playing at a very elite level. Depending. But like lengthy pieces that are physically demanding, right? As opposed to precise pieces aren't as, if you're playing very precisely, not quite as poundy, not quite like this is a more pianistic thing, but every instrument's a little different in terms of physical demands. But it's just sometimes you have some music that's just so physically demanding that it just takes everything out of you. That kind of music, is exhausting. But it's much easier to budget your energy with music that's shorter. Might be still very difficult, but not as much of a physical challenge, perhaps. Not as much of an endurance challenge, maybe. I don't know, I'm speaking in terms of generalities here, but I mean, I think you guys know what I'm talking about, especially if you're musicians. But yeah, I mean, like, there's just so much time in the day. Only so much time in the day. There's only so much energy you have to expend for teaching. So everything else you need to be doing, and so it's just very nice to be able to just have your beginners and some intermediates that aren't super good yet, and just conserve some energy. But I don't know. That's why oftentimes when you're teaching more advanced students, why a lot of times teachers don't play a whole lot for advanced students, because maybe just short little sections, and you do need to be at a level where you can play whatever that student's playing. You need to be able to play that well within not too long a period of time. You don't have to be super familiar with the music. There's so much music out there, but if you're teaching somebody a piece that's well beyond you, and they're not having too much trouble with it, it's time for that student to have a more advanced teacher. Yes. Oh yes. And just to put this in perspective, I mean, there's gentleman I know who was a piano major, who he was having a student that was playing Rachmaninoff piano concertos, and he felt it just wasn't. Man, it's like, whoa, I'm just not really at the level where I feel like I can teach this person. I'm like, yes, you can. You're a piano major, but Rachmaninoff is really stinking hard. And so maybe he was right, but heck, I mean, that makes me feel like anyway. I mean, but he's stinking hard. Rachmaninoff is just, we're talking about these physically taxing things, takes an insane amount of endurance. That's Rachmaninoff for you. So anyway, I'm heading inside here for a bit. Nice blue color for the sky. Actually, it is a very nice color in general. Looks a little different in real life than on my phone. My phone has more of a slight deeper blue tinge to it. In real life, it's more of it's kind of a gray blue, a little cloudy. Anyway, leave me thoughts and comments below. Catch you later. Take care. Bye.